we was talking on oil camera. I told you about this phone conversation that had got recorded. You talking to somebody put part of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And in the conversation, one of the things you said was touching on something you just mentioned.
Yeah.
You said, I'm the definition of when keeping it real goes wrong.
Ain't no doubt.
And that's how it kind of like derailed your career, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So before you quit the long sentence, John, that you just came home for, prior to that, I mean, while you were signed, did you end up catching a couple cases in the mix of that while you was on? Speak a little bit on that, because that was a part of that what slowed you down too, because you was catching cases while you was
I was my idea of real, right? Doing all this dumb shit, right? Not realizing I got a whole deal on the table. I got the opportunity of a lifetime sitting right here in front of me. You feel me? And don't get me wrong, you know, old habits is you know, they die hard, you feel me? But at the same time, you got to realize when the grass green on the other side. And so I was just doing a lot of crazy shit. And I'm not saying for nothing. I feel like you may think at the time it's for something. You feel me? But yeah, man, I caught a couple cases, a couple guns, attempted murder. And, that's what really derailed me. You know what I'm saying? But what I love about Pharrell was always consistently trying to make a way.
So he didn't give up, or he was right.
He never gave up. That's my friend. That's my friend. Motherfuckers talk that brother shit. That's easy to say. Bro. They use that shit loose right now. Love. They use those terms loosely. Love is the action. You know what I'm saying? Love is the byproduct of loyalty. That's it. It's the action. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty is what you want. He's giving me undying loyalty. You know what I'm saying? So all my cases he was there for it. He paid for lawyers. He made sure families were cool. He did all that.
Damn, he held it down, man.
That's my big homie.
Early.
Yeah.
So you catching them cases back and forth, know what I mean, in and out of jail. So the music stuff was on, because you was supposed to put out an album, but that never came out because, you know what I mean, you getting locked up and all
caught up on some dumb stuff.
Right. So then, so the song 2002, that's when the album came out. The video come out 2003. So in the mix of that, between that time, you had caught a couple little situations.
Yeah.
And then 2008, that's when you caught the situation that you just came home from.
Right.
So you had that 14 years behind that.
Right.
So explain, like, being as though you was known and you was lit and people knew who you was, how was that going from that to now in this situation where, you caught a couple situations before, but now this is one where it's more serious and now you're looking at a longer stretch of time. Like, what was that like being Rosco P. Coldchain and now you in there as an inmate? Like, what was that?
It wasn't the fact of being an inmate for me, because I was always accustomed to being in and out of jail. I don't think it was the time either that they was offering. It was the fact that you show somebody all of this love and you've never done wrong to your people, and somebody can just actually do you wrong. And so I think I was hurt more by the betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, you open your arms and you open your heart to motherfuckers just hurt you. I think the time me getting incarcerated, the biggest part was like the family, I think. You know what I'm saying? My mother was sick. She had heart attacks and all kinds of shit. My sons, you know what I'm saying? I had custody of them before. So I don't think it was never the time. In terms of it though, what it did to me, it put things in perspective. It made me like really understand what's worth keeping. Right? Because once you lose everything, what you got? Who gonna be there? Who really love you? You know what I'm saying? The biggest drug in the world is love. You feel me? Everybody want to feel adequate. Everybody want to feel like they somebody and feel a sense of importance in somebody's life. What's life without a purpose? You feel me? So now you got to rediscover yourself as a human being. Who am I? Alright. You was this crazy nigga on camera. You was, you know, millions of people loved you. Right? It was rise and fall. It was what it was. Right? But, you know, to the outside, they don't look at it like that. From the outside, people will look at it like you still on top. Because the only thing they see is through the camera. This is how you got so many people frauding now. Right? Then when you see them, they toe up, they hit like dog shit. Right? Because they trying to upkeep an image. Right? So then it was more or less me not necessarily keeping up an image. It was more or less like, yo, I got to feed my fucking family because these record labels is playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just wasn't playing with me. They was playing with Pharrell. They was playing with the clips. They was, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Our whole squad, it was affecting us. You feel me? So it was like, damn, everybody started heading for the hills. Everybody started trying to figure out what we gonna do. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, ain't none of that shit really like, it just put everything in perspective, bro. It make you turn into a man, bro. None of the money, none of this shit mean nothing. Your character, everything. How you treat people is everything. You know what I'm saying? So I started looking at myself and saying, yo, you was an ugly nigga. Man, the way you treated these people, the way you treated your woman. These motherfuckers that genuinely cared about you. You treated them like shit. And these motherfuckers were still there for me. Some of them were still there. The ones I treated the worst were still there. You know what I mean? That was the shit. I think that was the clip. Like, damn, man, let me tighten the fuck up, man. Nah, man, I gotta look myself in this joint, man. Who I'm living for. You know what I mean? This shit got to be bigger than you. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And that was crazy because also in that same convo too, you had mentioned that you was sitting on a county for 6 years, not knowing what the outcome was going to be.
I said all that. Yeah. Yeah, I was in county jail. Yeah, I was in CFC 6.5 years.
Dang, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was in there from 2008 to 2015. Yeah, and that shit was like, I couldn't wait to get up. When I got upstate, it was like, that shit, I had the worst case of PTSD in the world, but it was a sigh of relief. Cause you know, niggas is up there with their time already, so now niggas is chilling and really trying to fight for what, you know, they need to fight for. Niggas trying to get out, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers got life, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers got action, they already got their time. So all that radical shit is out the window, you feel me?
Right.
With you in the county, you know, you in the county, you looking over your shoulder every day because you don't know what you might step in the day room, anything might go down. You feel me? But you know, I had my good times. I've been rolled on, jumped. You know what I mean? I done fucked niggas up. I done did all that. None of that shit was worth nothing. I done fucked bitches in the county. I done got money in the county. I done did all that. Anything you want to say about the county, I done did it. Anything you want to say about jail, I done did it. Anything you want to say about the streets, I done did it. Ain't none of that shit amount to nothing. You feel me? Nothing. I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. That shit corny, man. Glorifying that shit, bro. Glorifying that shit, man. You know what I mean? But what I can do, I can still talk that shit because I lived it. As a man, I can still give it up. You feel me? So that's what I'm on.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, you ended up with the 10 to 20 year sentence after you was thinking about you was going to get, what, like 40 to 80 or something like that? You ended up with the 10 to 20, which was why you did 14 years of that, and now you back out here. So the question I want to ask you, couple more questions about why you was in there before we get to the transition.
I didn't get into that while I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that shit was it was a murder. That shit. You know what I mean? That's it, bro. Ain't nothing disrespectful. You understand?
No, I was going to ask you more so about your experience and then not
experiencing it was hell.
Yeah, that's what that's kind of what I wanted to get to.
It was hell, my nigga.
Like some of the shit that you experienced while being there since you was in there so long. You know what I mean, like,
let me tell you something, man. My brother died. My mother had heart attacks. My kids got old. Some of them don't fuck with me. Some of them do. You feel me? Bitches done left, niggas done left, homies done died. All kinds of grandmother done died. Same shit you see on Life, my nigga. That you seen that shit with Eddie Murphy and them. That shit was me. I just ain't escape. You feel me? I had to sit there and ride that shit out. You know what I mean? Had to ride it out. You know? So I'm on something. This what I'm on. How can we let's talk about that. How can we save some lives?
That's what I was getting to. That's kind of how I like to line it up. So basically, based on your everything you've been through from a young boy, jail stuff, street stuff, all of that, and now you did all that time, and now you back home pretty much. So if a young boy a young Rosco P, who was thinking about walking down that path, I mean, who don't know, you know what I mean? Because you said when you was a young boy, you never thought that far into stuff. You ain't really, I mean, think too much. You just was reacting.
Yeah.
So what would you say to a young boy that you see like yourself in, who thinking about walking that path that you just came from, who gonna end up in the same situation you just in? If it's something you could tell them, what would you tell them?
That's a good question, man. I tell them I understand what you dealing with. I understand what you're going through. I just need you to take 1 second to analyze and think about what you're about to do, whether it be whatever. I mean, if you out there trapping, that's understandable. Nigga, you need some money, but understand the reasons of why you doing it. Alright, you sell some coke, you sell some weed, you sell some perks, you sell some dope, whatever. Alright, cool. You know what I'm saying? But why are you doing it? Is it to stay in it? Is it to show off for the other people? You know what I'm saying? Is it to you know, so you can get some money so you can show off for a bitch? Like, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Because niggas hustle to get out the game. Niggas don't hustle to stay in the game. Right? And then in terms of the whistle, when you playing with the whistle, shit ain't gonna be fun when you sitting up there 20 years later and you fighting to get up out that motherfucker. And all that real shit and all that shit is out the window. And now you getting super political and you wanna start talking about, you know, legislation and all that. You know what I'm saying? Or you be one of them assholes just sitting there with life and just stuck like, damn, like, you know. Shit ain't fun up that joint, man. Motherfucker, I had to leave niggas, bro. I had to leave niggas. I got a whole squad, my whole squad up there with Wills, bro. It wasn't like I was walking around with dudes with, like, you know what I'm saying? I had time, so all my niggas had time. I ain't want to deal with a nigga that was short time. I mean, shout out to my man Reef, he home, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to certain dudes, they home, you feel me? They made it out, you feel me? My man we did 15, Odie, we did 15, he did 15, I did 14. We all was looking at life. Some of us had life, but we had to leave dudes with life. They call my phone to this day, you feel me? And I be trying to hold on like as much as possible, like, yo, I know these niggas is living vicariously through me. And the first thing they on is, yo, cuz, like, stay out of the way, man, and make sure, man, you do something, man, on a positive tip, man, so we can see it. Now, we talking about gangsters. We talking about, you know, you got gangsters, you got killers, we talking about killers and gangsters. These is niggas, it was worse than us. And these motherfuckers is bowing out. I don't want none of that. I want you to do right. These motherfuckers wish they was here. They wish they not the same. Reg, what's up? They not the same people. That's how they was from back then. These motherfuckers changed completely. Dave, Diamond Street, what up? Shaw, what up? My man Kyle, what's up? Hey, y'all know who y'all is. We walk together. Ali, what's up? Cash, what's up? You feel me? And I gotta do it for the men. So that's why I'm doing it for them, but I'm doing it for me more so anything. But it's like when we talk, I try not to talk about that. Cause that was a real traumatizing experience and if you ain't been in jail long enough, then you wasn't traumatized. You know what I mean? If you can still do certain shit out here and say, okay, I went to jail, boom, and you can take that shit like a badge of honor, and you come, then you wasn't traumatized enough. You ain't learned your lesson. I'm out here, I learned my motherfucking lesson. You know what I mean? Can't go to jail, you thinking you come out here, man, yeah, man, you think you gonna get a hero's welcome. Motherfuckers think they did all that shit, they gonna get it. Yeah, when I come home, like, my man said he gonna bless me with a whole thing, and you signed up for it. Kudos to you. You know what I mean? But there's only two ways to that, how that's gonna end. I think you know that too, brother. Mm-hmm. You from down north, you from the end. Mm-hmm. Right? See, with death or prison, who wanna be locked up and you can't get no pussy? You can't see your family and hug them how you supposed to. You can't kiss them, right? How you supposed to. You can't go get something to eat. You can't sleep, right? You can't shit. You always got these people up on your ass telling you when to do stuff, right? They treating you like a punk. They talking to you like a punk, right? Who want to live like that? Or who want to be dead prematurely? You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers ain't learning their lessons. So my thing is each one teach one, man. We trying to save some lives out this joint. You know what I'm saying? You know, whoever want to be saved, they're gonna be saved. Whoever don't, all right, cool. You feel me?
No, shit. Yeah. And so now let's get to the transition home. Did all that time, know what I mean? And now you're getting closer to the date. And now you finally come home and you transitioning home to this brand new world than what you left it. Like we was talking about camera. There was so much stuff that wasn't around, that wasn't going on when you left. And then you come home from 2008 and then you walk into Philly 2022. Like you said, it was a culture shock. I mean, off top in the beginning, it was a culture shock. But the transition coming from jail to then now getting back home, like you said, like for people that been in there long enough, like jail mess with your mind. I don't think people talk about that enough. Yeah. Like you've been in there for a long period of time, especially you've been in solitary and stuff like that.
Like 2.5 years of solitary.
Right? I mean, like people don't know like that's a strenuous thing. A lot of people come from jail and they appear the same and they look the same, but
I was in solitary when my brother died. When my brother got murdered, I got the call while I was in solitary. You know what I'm saying? So what they start doing now though, they try to make solitary more comfortable. It was studies and research done that solitary really affects the mind, right? Mm-hmm. It really fucks the mind up. So what they started to do is they started actually giving solitary TVs to watch. When we was upstate at least. You know what I'm saying? You know, the county was done, you know what I mean? That was crazy. That was a different kind. But upstate, man, they wound up getting these big ass 80-inch screen televisions, putting them on the wall because they know too much solitude. What's gonna happen? You're gonna be in your own mind. You know what I'm saying? And too much time up there, you might, you know, they say don't answer yourself. You talk to yourself, don't answer yourself, right? So, yeah, that was kind of crazy. But in terms of the world, how that turned into, what that turned into, technology. Right, when I went to jail, it was MySpace. Right, I come home, it's Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. Right. And so it's to get acclimated to that. I would, and what we was talking about before, I would, when young dudes would come through to the jail, I'd ask them different questions about, you know, how does it work, you know. I'm keep hearing about these YouTubers. What's that? And, you know, how is people making money off social media, and how is they promoting their agenda on social media? And these dudes would tell me. But then they also explained to me the culture, right? With what's them young boys, the Derailed, you know, that whole thing, right? And he was also explaining that, and he was also explaining how the streets was moving. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. You know. Watch your live, you know what I'm saying? Watch where you at. Don't post this. Post it this day. Don't post it the same day. You know, so they giving me the game on how to move on it. But you know, my whole thing is if I'm not a part of that life, I'm not worried about that shit. And that's not saying the past ain't the past. Motherfuckers can't catch up, but at the same time, like, play catch up. I'm out the way. And I'm letting it be known. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to be in y'all lane. You don't want to be in mine. Leave me alone. I'm on social media. I'm promoting my agenda. It's all about love, peace, and happiness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I'm operating with the online thing. And so I would talk to Wallow through Rick Lowe. And like I said, you know what I'm saying, he was doing his thing. And even before then, when he was in jail, he had this little MP3, he had a little hotspot, and he'd get on the phone, and I had my cell phone, and we'd talk back and forth. So when he finally came home, he implemented all the right things and did all the right things, right? And he would just give me solid game, like, bro, like, that shit dead. It ain't no two-way, like, one foot in, one foot out. You gotta have both foot in or both feet out. And for us, we need to stay on this side. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no country for old men. Like, these, we old, nigga. And so in those conversations, I really took heed, and I just would watch the blueprint and watch how he move. And I just was like, man, it just made me proud of him. And just gave a dude like me ambition and know-how to say, damn, let me go ahead and promote my agenda the same way. So, shout out to my nigga.
Right. And I see you been on that as of lately, especially like the last couple months last couple weeks to the last month or so. I don't know when you first dropped your first video, but I see you been dropping, multiple pieces of content since then. And one of the joints that you dropped that actually posted was the Kensington Beach freestyle. So I see you went down to go, because Kensington wasn't like that when you left. It wasn't nothing like that when you left. So for when you came home, I know you heard about it, like, yo, I gotta go see.
I gotta clarify something. This is what frustrates me. See, all right, for the kids that don't know, right? I've been around for a very, very long time. And in being around for a very, very long time, I've lived in certain places. And I know certain people in certain places. So I'm allowed to walk in these places. This is not for clickbait. This ain't for me to just be down there. This is to show and to see, one, what my place of where I used to hang out. I used to hang out in Kellis's and Willard Street. I used to live on Willard. All of these different places down Kensington.
So these your old stomping grounds.
This is where I used to be at.
Yeah.
This wasn't like no. Give a fuck about being in the hood. I don't want to be down there.
See, what it is because it became a tourist attraction now. So a lot of people from different places.
This ain't that.
They don't know that you
this ain't that. This is what I'm trying to explain. This ain't that. I got roots down there. I got homies with blocks down there. So it's nothing for me to go down there. Yeah. And it's nothing for me to go anywhere else in the city that I got homies at. Because I'm at a certain age where my homies is stamped. So if I went in these hoods, not saying that nothing couldn't happen, but at the same time, I'm gonna feel comfortable because he's genuinely my gang. So in that situation, it was more or less like, yo, look at this shit. Do you see this? What is y'all doing to yourself? Lady, you're laying on the ground. Yo, bro, you're shooting up right here. I'm right here. Hello. To where y'all used to have some type of shame. We call it hayya. I used to like bashfulness, like, they have none. It's no shame. It's none of that. Like, it's none of that. You know what I'm saying? And so now you walking in these parks and you have a plethora of fiends walking around like the fucking Night of the Living Dead, and they sleeping in tents. So you walk up a step and you see human shit just sitting on the ground, and you see all these different things. It's amazing, but at the same time, it's mind-boggling. Because I'm trying to adjust and figure out how did it get there. See, y'all was out here to see it get there, right? Mm-hmm. So that shit became, from my understanding, people started coming from different places and all of this shit, and they started coming down. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't see none of that. So, I got to sit there and witness this shit and ask as I go along. But it's such of a fucking thing to see, man, I got the rap right here to bring awareness to. I'm gonna rap right here to bring awareness to it, right? So that's what I did. Yeah.
So now you just let me hear one of your tracks too in the will before we came in here to do the interview.
You liked it?
Yeah, and I told you, I was like, it sound like you ain't miss it. Sound like the same old. Like, man, you wouldn't be able to know the difference.
I like you, man.
So, I mean, go
ahead, warm me up.
So go ahead, tell people, like, I mean, you jet right back in the music. I mean, you back on. I mean, so let people know, like, you back in the studio recording and you got something coming soon.
Yeah, man. Rosco P. Coldchain last night should have never happened. For the obvious fucking reasons, right? About 8 songs. Full of me. I'm also doing an EP with DJ Ismatic currently. My man Ace McLeod, we got something in the works. You know, we shooting a documentary. Me and another brother by the name of Condito. He's from a collective called High Society. Bunch of spitters, they all crazy, they all hot. But you know, it's just consistent work, and we watching the body of work build up. Right? An elephant gotta grow off peanuts, you feel me? So, you know, I'm trying to be that elephant. So I gotta eat these peanuts in order to grow. That's what I'm standing on.
And you on social media. For those who don't know, go ahead and plug your page. You on the gram and all that. For those who don't know, who want to follow you, stay updated.
I like you, man. You.
Salute, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. Rosco P. Coldchain, pretty much on everything. Rosco P. Coldchain, without the E. So there's no E in Rosco. It's just all Rosco P. Coldchain. Instagram, Rosco Coldchain on Facebook, but I don't even barely be on that motherfucker. TikTok, I think it's Rosco P. Coldchain 17 or Rosco P. Coldchain, and YouTube Rosco P. Coldchain 17.
You on all platforms? Okay, yeah, you right too. You right in the mix.
Wait, put me up, dog. Feed my ego, dog.
I got
feed my ego.
You fresh home,
feed it.
Because there's a lot of people. I mean, from that era that's not on them platforms. They don't even know nothing. So for you to be away all that time and come home and I mean, you jump right in. You know what I mean?
I was studying.
Yeah.
I was seeing who was doing what. I was hearing who was doing what. And that time in that county allowed me to see what was going on. Dudes was coming home. They wasn't sounding too good, right? Dudes was coming home, they wasn't doing too good in terms of how they was moving. So now it's more or less like, all right, what am I gonna do to different from them? Or what can I do that's just like them? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I just took the blueprints and seen what and what not to do through other people's mistakes and other people's triumphs.
Yeah. All right, so aside from the music, one of the things you want to do aside from the music, I mean, now that you're back home?
Well, right now, you know, me and my mother, we got something called J&R Grassroots, non-profit, you know, solid 501c. My mom, she's always been in the streets in terms of community, activists. I'm talking about literally since I was a child, you know what I'm saying? So she's definitely proud that I kind of turned the other cheek and did some other things, but I'm working with her. She's trying to get a community center started. It's looking like it's a go, so we're gonna help these kids get themselves together. And really, it's just whatever, speaking engagements, anything that I can do to promote the agenda of positive reinforcement, positivity, and just tell my story, and hopefully somebody, you know, they learn from it, and you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you want to let the people know? Anything else you want to touch on, speak on that we didn't get a chance to speak on? Anything you want to address, clarify, anything?
There's nothing I really want to clarify. I just want to tell everybody, man, thank you for being there for me. For those who was there. For those who want it, It don't matter because I'm here. I'm out y'all way, stay out of mine. And hopefully y'all can learn something. And just for the most part, be kind, man, to your fellow human being. It's enough depth, man. You only get one life, my nigga. So be kind to your fellow human being. Be kind to the women. You know what I mean? Because when we fall, they pick up the slack every time. You know what I mean? And they carry it like real troopers. So be kind to the women. You know what I mean? Take care of your children. And honor your mother. Shit.
And last thing I want to say, because I forgot to mention it when I brought up your gram, because I seen Pusha had commented on one of your posts. I was like, damn, that's what's up. You still, I mean, him and bro still solid. I mean,
yeah,
like,
man, Push, man, that's my guy, man. Like, when I say Pusha, man, Push. Lava, one thing about Lava. Ab Lava, for y'all don't know, Ab Lava is a Philly staple.
Yeah, shout out to Lava. He's definitely a legend,
here's the deal. And I gotta touch on this real quick, but here's the deal. The rap shit is super fake. So what happens is you take these dudes and you take the rappers and you rapper homie, yeah, you my rapper homie, but there's always something for something. Not saying that necessarily a lot of things ain't coming from a real place, right? But it's the level of genuinity, right?
It's like when you lit, we cool, but
when you lit, we cool. You off, and you can't even reach down to help me up. The bros, man, them dudes, man, Lava came, he was coming to see me consistently. This wasn't like one time thing, man. This nigga was coming to see me. He seen me while I was in the hole. He seen me while I was in my lows, my highs. This nigga was coming to see me, check on my mom, make sure it was cool. That was the shit that mattered, my nigga.
Real nigga shit held it down.
I call Pusha, I need some clothes for court. Pusha sent it down. My kids need some, he sent it. I need some paper, he sent it. I come home, he sent it. You feel me? That you can't. I'm talking about for rappers. If you ain't do that, stay the fuck away from me. And it ain't no offense, I ain't saying, but you rap dudes, y'all know who y'all is. Stay away from me, man. Keep away from me. Cause I'm on all genuine shit. We ain't got to fake it for each other. We ain't got to fake it. My guys is my guys. You know what I mean? I love them. They love me, and they showed it by doing certain things for me when I was incarcerated. And this ain't even just rappers, this other niggas too. You know what I mean? They kind of like, you know, they see them buzzing now or whatever. I ain't bitter or nothing. But let's not act like we don't know what it is. We're going to continuously stay accordingly. Right? We you know, I knew who y'all was, and I still got love for niggas. Right? But I'm on this mission. I got an agenda right now. I'm saving something. So if you ain't going to sit there and jump on that agenda with me, then it ain't no reason that we need to have frivolous conversation. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of guys be kind of feeling like that when, you know, they be hitting my line. But it'd be like, I really don't got time for frivolous conversation. Especially if it wasn't a thing of you stepped up when I really needed you back then. Cause I'm home now. So what I need. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm on, bro.
Early. Yeah. We're gonna end it off on that.
Yo, appreciate you, Brody.
For sure. We live from P.2.
Okay, we good. P.2. Store is excellent, man. They got all kinds of lays and books by Banksy and different artists and clothes, and it's a dope spot.
Yeah, they showed us love. Shout out to them, man. Yeah. And we out of here.
Yup.